So we're looking now at the stern of the boat, which does have a layer of fiberglass all the way across it. So looking up close along this edge, we can see I did an especially terrible job because there's huge voids under this topmost layer of fiberglass. These aren't the little pinholes like I had before. This is like holes the size of pennies and dimes and whatnot. So the solution here is going to be the same. I got to sand it until I get through the top layer and expose the layer underneath. And then I'll come back here and fair this later. We can also see up here that I put on too much epoxy and it ran. Simultaneously over here we can see the texture of the fiberglass. So it's possible that I needed more here and less up here. So I've sanded this all now, and you can see I opened up a lot of blisters here. If we look more, we see I basically completely removed almost all of the fiberglass and epoxy along this edge. And that's just because it really wasn't bonded to the underlying plywood there, so it was just asking to get filled up with water and cause delamination issues later. So like getting a filling, you got to remove all of the bad stuff before you do the repair, or the repair just won't hold up. So I got rid of those big drip marks that were here. This is all sanded now with some nice 80 grit. So if I have to lay up more fiberglass over it, it should adhere well. And for this areas that I opened up, I've got a nice tapered, it's a nice smooth taper between the wood and the fiberglass here. A big sharp angle is not going to bond well. So now I got to come in and maybe do a little filling work and then put more fiberglass on. Haven't quite decided the next part of the layup schedule, mostly because I still got a whole lot more sanding to do before I do any more layup. These are wild blackberries, and they just started blooming in the last week. Last year there was a drought, and so they hardly got any yield at all. But it looks like this is going to be a good year. I think even if there's a drought, I might just water them by hand.